There's always been something about winter that leaves me feeling nurtured. Along with autumn, it's my favourite season. But I'm trying not to hold too tightly to it. It's hard sometimes to not dread its passing, so I just try to stay as present as possible instead and drink it all in while it's here for another year. The dogs leave paw prints on the frozen ramps as I welcome the mornings in. Most days see frozen grass across the paddocks. The solar panels ice over, but melt once the sun hits them. Some sunrises are gentle and accompanied with a soft touch of colour. Other mornings are more startling in their arrival. On this day, it was the gentle touch of the sun hitting my hill that brought delight to my waking hour. It was -4 degrees Celsius in this moment, so rather fresh and lovely. There has been a lot of winter rain, which has meant for cosy days inside, where my daughter stays in her teenage cave wearing pyjamas all day, and the fire crackles, the smell of home cooking floats through our little home, and the dogs snuggle in fully. These are memories I cherish. The sun eventually returned, casting long shadows at the end of the day. Golden hour is so magnificent, as you can see here at the dam. But the dam now has a name. We've called it Lake Dreamaroo. I'm grateful to be walking again, taking in the magic of the place, with nature conveniently leaving me seats via the rocks to rest in the nurturing winter sun, which becomes hot pink beneath my closed eyelids. There has been a decent amount of wildlife here over winter. I especially love moments like these, when the roos have a good scratch or are relaxing late in the day. I spotted movement in this low-hanging pouch of a mama kangaroo, indicating a restless little joey hiding within. Quite a few deer have been around in the mornings, with this herd just outside our front yard one sunrise. They seem to be getting used to my presence, or at least this herd have. This was another morning as I walked to the bird bath. They're actually just over the fence on my neighbour's property, but his house is a couple of kilometres away, so it's sort of like my place anyway. Eventually they decided to go. Once one does, they all do. I didn't expect to see a snake in winter, but we've actually seen 3 black snakes so far. These kinds hide as the night air freezes, but like to come out on warm days. They're not as aggressive as the brown snakes, which thankfully do generally sleep through the winter days and nights, but they're just as venomous. So as much as I respect their place in the ecosystem, I was disappointed to see a few out and about during the season, when I usually feel most free from them when walking with the dogs. The bird bath has been incredibly quiet, with only the magpies using it, and even then only rarely. So there's no splashing or tweeting from there this episode. But I'm sure with the return of spring just around the corner, it will become busier again by next time. There have still been birds about, the magpies and kookaburras, galahs, robins, and I heard a black cockatoo through the mist the other morning, but none tempted by the bird bath. Or not when I was looking anyway. Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. You little shit. And off it walks. Oh, it's coming back. Hello, fox. It's just stopped, the little shit. The worst part of them is that they eat the, the baby wildlife. They are vermin. Here it goes up, back across the driveway, opposite direction. They also eat the rabbits, which are out of control here, so... in some ways that's good. Yeah, look at the kangaroos hopping away up there now. Oh my gosh. Wait! Oh God, it was going for the ruse. Yeah, g'day. That incident with the fox shook me a little bit this morning, and I just want to reassure you that those roos it was chasing would be fine. Kangaroos can move at lightning speed when they want to, and I've witnessed that out here where I hadn't even realised they could move as fast as I've seen them go. And there were no little joeys in that group on the hill this morning, so it's the joeys obviously that can't move as fast, the babies. Anyway, so that's fine. They're fine. It was just one of those moments in the wild. But it's really brought home a hard decision I've been thinking about for a couple of years, and I'm still thinking about it. And it's whether to get a gun license. And guns are not a culture, they're not part of the Australian culture, thank goodness. It's not like some other countries. It's really hard to get a gun license in Australia. But because of where I live and because there's vermin, meaning foxes, wild pigs and deer, I think that's all of them here. We do have, I don't know, well over 1 million, I don't know how many millions of wild camels in the desert. We also have over 1 million wild donkeys in Australia. There's always talk of a few wild panthers that people have brought here as pets, like early white settlers with no idea and then let them loose. That's always a debate whether they're just huge feral cats or whether they're panthers, but I think they are panthers because of the size of the paw prints. Anyway, they're not common, though my neighbour has mentioned once he saw a big black cat. Anyway,
because I live out here, I could effectively go to a rifle club, get my skills up, and get a license for a gun and buy a gun. But the thing is, that incident that happened this morning up the back here, if you have a gun in Australia, it's got to be locked up in a safe that is bolted to the floor of your house or shed or whatever. And an incident like that where I saw the fox, by the time I went, and I can't run physically, by the time I went to get the gun and come back out, it would be gone. So it's quite rare that I would do it. Also, I don't know if I could, like as a kid we all had guns. That was before sort of new gun laws came in. We were farm kids and they were little air rifles and we'd shoot cans of Coke on fence posts and stuff. And I was a good shot, and it's just kids were wild then. But now physically there's a lot I can't do with my hands, a lot more than what I talk about here, because I just don't want to talk about it. Well, I don't want to focus on that. But there is a lot I can't do. So I don't know whether I could actually pull a trigger and whether I could hold the weight of a gun well with my other hand. I don't think I could. I'm strong if I carry something on here, like a bucket of wood. I can put it on here, but there's no way I can carry any weight in my hands. So would it be worth me getting a gun anyway? That's a decision I'm still trying to make. And I have seen a pig the size of a cow here. It was over in the paddock beyond the bird bath, which is the neighbour's paddock. And he hires piggers to come in with their pig dogs and stuff. And it's all pretty revolting. But at the same time, I don't want to run into a big razorback with the big tusks the size of a cow on my property. So I have actually said to any of the piggers, there's a couple of different ones who work on surrounding properties, I've just said if their dogs pick up the scent of a pig going through my property, they're welcome to come through. But I've also told them that I'm a wildlife lover and they're not to be shooting any native wildlife at all or anything else. And the deer are a pest as well. I wish they weren't so pretty. So are the rabbits. The deer have dug up our, like the tree guards, the green tree guards up there. The deer have chewed a number of those just to get them off the tree and then taken the tree. Not too many, but enough for me to realise, at some point I'm going to have to buy these pretty pricey wire guards if I want all of the trees we've planted to survive, and I do. I don't think I could shoot a deer, but the decision about the guns is still a hard one. As an animal lover, it's really hard to think of killing a pig or a fox. But at the same time, I want to protect the native wildlife, so I'm just going to sit on that one a bit longer. Anyway, this is the echidna rock. This is the rock, if you've been watching the vlog for a while, this is the rock that the echidna came down on. There's hundreds and hundreds of rocks and they don't all have names, but this one is the echidna rock, and we've got the koala tree, and the longer we stay here, the more these elements of nature become more personal. So anyway, thanks for listening. I've got a bit more beauty to share with you from this place.
Like the last episode, it seems to be the season for male macropods to be fighting each other. At least these two wallabies gave up sooner than those kangaroos did last time. A sweet joey poked its curious nose out from its mother's pouch nearby. The darling thing. Then the boys were back having another tussle, but the mama left them to it. And like all of life, nature reminds me of the shadow and light. While I've wrestled with my values on the gun issue, an unexpected blessing came our way, lightening my heart immensely. Heavy rain was forecast, but I noticed light snow falling instead. I'll never forget the joy of waking my daughter to let her know it was snowing. We'd never seen snow here. There are a couple of towns within an hour's drive in opposite directions that usually get a few light falls each winter, but the old locals tell me it's been 41 years since it has snowed here. We were excited to just notice the light fall, not expecting it to stay long enough to cover the ground. How wrong we were. As the day progressed, the snowfall continued with ever-increasing volume. There was something so wonderfully magical about it, especially to folks like us who enjoy frosts and mists but never see snow in our area. I felt insanely blessed to be living in such a cosy little home on such magnificent country. The house may just look like a funny box from the outside at this stage, but there are such beautiful memories being created within for me and my little family. On this day, I couldn't help but think back to the hard times of once having no safe base and sleeping in a car the size of a rice bubble, unable to stretch out as I slept scared on city streets. I reflected on where I now live, witnessing the excitement of my daughter's joy, the love of our dogs, the comfort and safety of our home, and how much I've changed my life since those shockingly hard years. As the snow continued to fall, I teared up in gratitude and wonder. It's good to look back sometimes and remember, if only to acknowledge to ourselves that the healing, courage and risks were worth the pain of breaking free of old stories and conditioning. For so many reasons, I'll remember this day forever as we enjoyed the warmth and utter coziness of our sweet little home. The following morning left a clear reminder from the dream of the previous day's magic. And Lake Dreamaroo has filled even further from melting snow. Soon we might even be able to paddle out to the middle to plant a tree on the island. Along with creating the higher level of water, the snow also caused a lot of destruction in our region, where tree branches, not equipped to cope with the weight of such snowfall, gave way. My place is now littered with such remnants. But a low rainbow also shone across the South Valley behind our home. It spoke of contrast, change, magnificence and joy. Nothing stays the same, but nature and our connection to it is there to keep reminding us of the things that are truly important: love, safety and wonder.